Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Amy Wagner is now joining us from Louisville, Kentucky. Excited to talk to her about her work as president and founder of Reflections of You by Amy Interior Design, Staging, and Renovations, along with realtor at Nest Realty. So she's a jack of all trades, master of many, and we want to welcome you here to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, pleasure to have you here. And just for starters, I would love our listeners and viewers to be able to find you. So would you mind sharing the website, phone number, social media, any of the above contact or all would be perfect.
Yes. So my Instagram is Amy Wagner Designs, and my website is amywagnerdesigns.com. And we're on Facebook as well. And my old Facebook got hacked. The new one is Reflections of You by Amy, Interior Design, Renovations. So it has more words to it than just Reflections of You by Amy.
Beautiful. Well, I'm excited to have you here. I've checked out your website and I'm all. I mean, if you go to the website, just look at the cover page to start. I mean, I want that kitchen. I want to move in. And I've never seen a kitchen that's open like that with that window to the outside area that I was looking at before. Let alone, I mean, it's just the epitome of the kitchen I want one day. Beautiful. I don't know if that's like planking on the floor, if it's veneer. Do you know which photo I'm referring to? It's
I do, yes.
What type of floor is that? I got to ask.
That's an engineered hardwood.
Is that what most people are going with today? Is that the traditional stuff now, or?
In high-end homes, yes.
Okay, I want to have a high-end home, so I admire that. If not, I go with the cheaper veneer, but I hope not. But I just got to, commend you on the work you've done and what you're doing. And I'm excited to have our listeners, viewers, and myself get to know you here one-on-one. First and foremost, let me just ask, how did you come up with the name of the company?
Oh, gosh. Well, my mother-in-law actually helped me with it because, every designer, not every designer, but most designers, they have one style and that's their specialty. And I, on the other hand, I go into a home and I have a master's in counseling. So let's throw that in there. So it's real important for me to have deep conversations with my clients to really understand their style, their ways of living, personalities. So I want every job to reflect the client. I'm not going to live there. It doesn't need to be my favorite. However, I will guide them and I will make sure that everything's cohesive and suits their style.
Wonderful. And then I also, would like to find out your background. Where did you grow up? And then what got you into this field? Because I know you have a master's in counseling. So, and then real estate license as well. So there's a lot to get to know you. Give us a little of your backstory, or they call it an elevator speech, right? But the who, what, where, when, why. It's always good to find out who you're working with.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Alabama. My grandmother, we called her Sweetie Pie. She was an interior designer in Birmingham. So I grew up on her coattails, just enamored with wallpaper books and fabrics and everything that she did. I went to Auburn. My dad played baseball there, so I grew up a big Auburn fan. My mom went there. And I studied education because I wanted to be a mom that got to work when my kids were at school and be home in the summers. So I was in education for 13 years as a teacher, as a guidance counselor, and as an assistant principal. And when my daughter was born in 2000, I decided I was thankfully lucky enough to be able to be a stay-at-home mom after she was born for 7, 8 years. Then I wanted to go back to work, and my friend came up from Birmingham, who's an accountant, and we were talking about what, I could do to go back to work, but I really didn't want to do the school system again, just to have more flexibility in my schedule with my kids. And she said I needed to get my interior design degree and make everybody else's homes look as pretty as my home was, which was very kind of her. And she said, I pay people in Birmingham to do what you're doing here in Louisville for free for your friends. So that's what sparked the whole change of, career.
Wow, I commend you on that. I get it. Like I've been working. I'm a single mom. My kids are just turned 10, one's turning 8, and I dream that I could be a stay-home mom. I never was, and it's so much work to work and take care of kids, or even be a stay-home mom. My mother was a homemaker, raised 3 of us, and I'll never forget just one time my aunt insulted her that, well, Michelle, what do you know? You never had to work. You could nap all day. I have to go to the office. And my mom
Oh
lost it
my
on her.
gosh.
And now I really know why my mom was so upset back then, because I see it. And raising children is harder than any job. I don't care if you're a neurosurgeon. You go to work, you get away from the kids. It's easier than being with children. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, right? So I commend you on that, and I commend you on what you're doing. So how did you start? Now, what did you go into first? Did you go into the real estate first or into the design?
No, I actually did design first. I actually started out staging homes. So I
Ah,
had two professional certifications in staging. And so I
wow.
started there. And then I had friends that were contractors that hired me to come in and help them with their remodels to pick out the tile and the lighting and the backs, all the things. So from there, in 2012, I had some builders ask me to design their Homeorama house, which is a show house event we have here in Louisville every year. And so with a team, we did the house. I can't even describe how exciting it was because we won the best show house. We won best design, best designer, and along with all the sub awards like best countertops, best lighting, best flooring. We won 9 out of 10 of those.
Wow.
So that's what really kicked off the design layer of my business. So started with staging, went to design, then went to remodeling. Like I said, I was helping everybody else, so I thought I can do this. I can be a project manager and handle this. So we do that. And it wasn't until 2020 when COVID hit, I had a storefront and we had to close it, right? So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to take advantage of this time and get my real estate license. Excuse me. So I knocked out a very intense 2-week course that was 8 to 6 o'clock every day, studying at night, and got my real estate license here in Kentucky. And then later got my real estate license in Alabama. So yeah, so I am a one-stop shop.
Amazing. And by the way, it's Sweetie Pie was your grandma's name? And she was
Yes.
the interior designer in Birmingham. Ah,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
you were
she
always inspired with fabrics and her books and all that she did, right?
absolutely. Yes.
Beautiful. And let me ask, in this business, did you overcome some obstacles and hurdles? What would you say, about that?
Oh gosh, of course. One of the big things was balancing, finding the balance between work and my kids and my friends and taking care of myself. And in the beginning, when you start a business, you are 24/7, and I'm still 24/7. However, I did have to learn how to balance, you know, every aspect of my life. So that was one challenge. The other challenge for me, I have the creative mind, and numbers are not, are not I mean, I do numbers obviously, but that's not what I enjoy. So I had to learn to embrace, if I was going to make any money, the financing side of it, which thankfully I did. And again, I have a great bookkeeper, great accountants, all of that to support me. But those are probably the two main hurdles.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And clearly, your sweetie pie and your mom are both your mentors. Do you continue to mentor anyone? And do you have anyone in your life that's also in the same field?
Well, my daughter,
Yay!
she's 24. My son is an attorney here and a lawyer here in Louisville, a real estate. He's in real estate law, so that's nice. My daughter is 24. She's a student at the University of Cincinnati in their amazing fashion design program. So she is currently in LA. I just took her doing a co-op for a company called the Albright Fashion Library that everybody should check out. So she's my creative, the one that I'm mentoring on how to truly take advantage of the talents and the skills that God has given her and run with it and run with it. So and then I also have a young lady, Kaylin Roberts, who works with me. And she's also a realtor. We're a realtor both at Nest Realty, but she also works with me at my company, Reflections of You by Amy, as a designer. And she is incredible.
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And we're really excited to hear more about you because you now started as an educator, an elementary teacher and guidance counselor. I can't believe that.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
then you probably had the best looking, office space. I'm sure you were always into like decorating, right?
it was
And
fun.
oh my goodness. Well, let's talk a little bit about, now the work that you're doing. Again, if you are just tuning in, it's amywagnerdesigns.com. And wow, we're going to see some of her pictures, the testimonials we'll go over, and we'll talk about some of the services of Reflections of You by Amy. So break it down for us. Let's go over some of the things you do, some of the areas in the home that you specialize in.
I would say I specialize in kitchen and bath remodels. However, definitely not limited to that. And I also work very closely with the client on their budget because there are some folks that, they can't afford right now to gut their kitchen and put a whole new kitchen in. So we, as of like just yesterday, I had my team, my contractor and my painter, and we met with a client, and we are going to paint her kitchen cabinets because they're in wonderful shape. And she wants to kind of do a bohemian style home. So we are helping her, and we're looking to possibly paint her cabinets a mossy green color and put some beautiful Cambria countertops. And then we're going to put a whole new face on a fireplace that she has, a fireplace wall that's very like 90s right now style. So we need to give that a facelift. So kitchens are probably, my favorite, kitchen and baths, but
I
we
can't
do
believe it.
we
I'm
do
looking
everything.
at your work. What is the trend? Tell me what's happening with the trends right now. What are you seeing in the kitchens? I feel like since the pandemic and COVID, everyone's in the kitchen. They're knocking down walls, taking, first of all, I don't even have a dining room. I have kids and it's a toy room. But I feel like I don't
Yeah,
think I'll ever have a dining room table and a china set. I think that stuff's all gone, right? People don't have that
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. No, and I tell you, that's something hard to sell too. If you're trying to get rid of it and sell it, those are hard. Those are hard sales. So, yeah, people are actually going back to a lot of open concepts. However, people are separating their family rooms from the kitchens more, and having just more of like a hearth space, like a sitting space that's adjacent to the kitchen rather than it being all open. The other thing that's trending, folks are going away from the grays, and we are looking at more of the taupes, not anything gold, not gold and brown paints necessarily,
Ah.
but more of the grays, the taupes, and also mauve is making a run. So that's
Wow,
an
really?
interesting color coming back. Yes, mauve.
Mauve. I
Uh,
call it mauve. I'm so sorry. I don't know the difference. Like vase, vase. Yeah. Tomato,
I'm sure
tomato,
it's
right?
no, I'm sure that's totally fine. But yeah, and wallpaper's coming back. And I
Wow.
love wallpaper. So I have
Oh
a
my
client
gosh.
now that they're building a home. So I'm helping them with all their selections for their new build. And they're going to actually have their cabinets to be it's not a robin's egg blue. It might have a little bit more gray in it than the robin's egg blue, but it's going to be stunning. And we're doing wallpaper in the kitchen with it.
Amazing.
So it's so exciting.
I feel like the longevity of wallpaper is so much better, especially if like I'm a woman with the two kids, and all my paint scratched, chipped. There's so much a magic eraser I can use. I feel like it's a little sturdier, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. And some people, they are afraid of it. So I say, well, let's just put a chair, depending on what type room it is, let's put a chair rail on that room and put wainscoting below it and wallpaper the top of it. And then it's not so loud. You just have to know the scale of the wallpaper that's going to be appropriate for certain spaces.
Wow. And what type of wallpaper are we talking about? Like, I've seen glitter, I've seen fabric, I've seen wallpaper that looks like it's actually stone now, you know?
Yeah, yeah. My go-to is a company called Tibo, and it's Thibaut. And we're doing a little bit of everything right now. I have another kitchen remodel that we're doing, and in their bar area, instead of putting upper cabinets, we're putting this beautiful, almost Kelly green grass cloth wallpaper with floating shelves.
Ooh.
And all the accents are gold. Like it's going to be so pretty. And then other folks, they want the large scale florals, and then other people want geometric. Again, it's a reflection of them. It depends on what their style is and what we're doing in their home.
Amazing. I've seen a lot of those gold knobs coming back in the kitchens and the pantries, the handles, and right?
Yeah, yeah,
and
but it's not brass. It's not the
not
polished
brass.
brass.
Oh,
Like it's not
interesting.
the old. Yeah, it's more of
Oh,
a brushed champagne. Yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, so I'll have consults with some folks, and they're like, they have the brass, right? The early 2000s, the brass knobs and whatnot on bookcases or cabinets,
yeah. It looks like even you
and
have some
and
bronze fixtures or gold fixtures in the kitchen there that I'm looking at still in that kitchen. I don't know if
yeah,
what's what, but I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, but all these folks, they'll say, but I can keep the gold. It's coming back. It's back. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but it's not that gold. They're going to get you one way or another. They're not going to let you keep reusing.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Well, hold on. By the way, I'm on your website, and it's also great to know the work you do. There's a lot of testimonials. I'm just going to read one or two if that's okay, and you can elaborate on some. But
okay.
this person, family, the name is the Singletons. They say, we're so thankful we met Amy Wagner. Working with Amy made selling our home a joy rather than a huge stressor. Amy initially gave us great design advice about updates that would help us sell quicker. However, we never had to implement her plan because she was so efficient at finding a buyer. We look forward to utilizing Amy's expertise again in the future, which is just another round robin in a sense, because you have that real estate knowledge too. You're really helping people increase the value of their house, and you know how to do it efficiently, and you could actually help someone with it like that. That's what I was going to ask you earlier about combining the two, and clearly you do.
Absolutely. It comes full circle. And yeah, they hired me initially just to come in and give them a staging consult. So we did that, and we were getting ready to do, some of the things to update it. And then they found out that I was a realtor. So they said, hey, when we get it ready, we want you to list it. And, of course, I was tickled to death. And then I was at a derby party. We have derby here in Louisville. I was at
Oh,
a derby party, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me her son was coming home and he needed to buy a house and la la la. So long story short, that's the buyer that bought the Singletons home that you're speaking of. And
wow.
on top of that, their son and his wife, I'm showing them houses on Saturday. So it just keeps, coming. It's just so wonderful. I'm so blessed.
Well,
And
that's
they're first home
amazing.
buyers, so it's really sweet.
And just the reasoning behind why you got the real estate license, if you don't mind sharing that as well.
Well, so I've helped for, oh, how many years? 16 years. I've been helping all of my realtor friends stage their homes and helping them to sell. And somebody told me, they said, well, Amy, like, you're not making as much money as that realtor, and you're the one helping them sell it. You should get your real estate license. And I was like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, yes, I guess I should add that to my,
Yeah.
to my multiple hats.
And here you are. Wow. And there's a whole bunch of other, testimonials, everyone complimenting your work. Do you want to talk about some of these projects that you've worked on and give us some ideas of the potential of the work that you do?
Oh, I'd be glad to. I'm not sure if the Cornishes, if they're on my website yet or not for a testimonial, but this couple, they had a house in Alabama and a house in Louisville. And they were in Alabama when we got a really bad ice storm a couple of years ago, and their pipes burst in their home here. And so their neighbor told them about me, and I went in and I was able to mitigate all of the water, the mold, everything that they had gone through, work with the insurance companies. From there, we had to totally gut their kitchen and remodel it. And then when we did that, they said, you know what? We've been thinking about selling this house. And now that it's all updated, what do you think we could get for it? So long story short, I listed that house. A friend of mine's daughter needed a place to live. I connected them with the buyer. Then they told me, hey, you're licensed in Alabama. We want to sell our house in Alabama and move back to Louisville and buy our forever home. So I sold their house in Alabama, and then I found them a house here. And so it was, I just can't tell you how much I love what I do.
Clearly.
And so much of it is because I'm helping people. It's not the glory of being a designer and whatnot. My counseling just has continued, but in a different venue, in a different, I love what I do, and I love being able to help people. And, to find an honest and truthful contractor and things like that I can connect everybody with, the handyman is going to show up. The contractor is going to show up when they're hired through me, because I've vetted them. They've worked with me for years, and you can feel very comfortable having them in your home.
Amazing. Let me just ask, for someone like you who's so into this, how do you live in your home? Are you always wanting to change things around and design things, or do you get enough joy from working at other people's homes? Because I feel like I would be like, wow, I just worked on this amazing, this kitchen. I want my kitchen to look like that. Wow, that bathroom vanity. I should have it in my house. How does that work with
Now,
someone?
I think all that and I dream that, but I'm thankfully so busy that my house comes last. My house is very comfortable, and I love everything in it. I personally like a timeless design. So everything in my home, there's not anything real trendy in my home. I can trade out pillows and artwork and things like that to bring color in, but I'm more of a minimalist and timeless and a transitional style. I'm not contemporary. I'm not traditional. But yeah, so if I have more time, I guess, but I don't want to take time away from my clients.
Oh my God, amazing. And the growing the field. So your daughter working under you, that's got to be awesome.
Yeah, well, and she's fashion design. I'm interior design. So I burnt her out on the interior design.
Oh,
So
totally. There's no chance of her taking over and grabbing the reins? No, no?
no, not at all. Not at all. She is her own little cookie, and her style and fashion is amazing. And she's going to do great things with all of that.
Beautiful. And by the way, I need to mention that you're on Facebook and as well as Instagram. I know we could see a lot more pictures there too. And tell me about some of the awards you won, by the way. You have to be, do you mind? I mean, it speaks volumes. Come on.
Oh, thank you. Well, like I said, probably the biggest one that I've won was the Homerama in 2012. Mm-hmm. And then we were awarded Best Business Design for a school. And that was a commercial job that we did. Oh gosh, what year was that? 2016, I think, or 17. And that was a Business First awarded that award. That was a big deal for me. And it was a college that was a nursing school.
Wow.
And then I don't know. I have to try to remember what my other awards are.
Well, I know it's always hard for people to talk about themselves, but read more of the testimonials, everyone, on the website. And by the way, you still have, you're still selling stuff, right? I saw like this amazing 4-door cabinet before that I so want. And it looks like there's like a mirror pictured above it, but I don't see that for sale. But it matches beautifully, right?
Yeah,
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I can get the mirror as well. Yeah, I have an online store.
Yes.
It's Reflections of You by Amy. So that's my online store.
Yeah, so there's furniture, wall decor, mirrors, artwork, lighting, sheets, accessories, lamps. So you really are a busy bee.
Thank you. Well, and those sheets are incredible. Okay. Those sheets are the softest sheets. My kids, when they went to college, they were like, Mom, we need a set of those sheets in a twin to go to college with me. But the reason I want to talk about them more than how great they are is for every set that I sell, I donate a set to the Healing Place here.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
So it's a philanthropy that, I am just so thankful to partner with them. And for every set I sell, I donate a set. That's why they're so cheap. They should retail.
They're like half the price. I was looking before, like not 200. Now it's like 75. It's like more than half. Wow.
Yeah, and that's why. It's because I'm not selling those for profit. I'm selling those to pass it along, pass it forward.
Well, I've had a really great time speaking with you. I apologize. We are out of time. Let's remind everyone one last time how we contact you, and I hope we have more shows together. Do we coming up?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look at my calendar.
Oh, I know. If we do, I would love for you to share your screen with me. Maybe we can pull up some of the pictures of before and afters of the work you've done. I mean, seeing is believing, and I love the work you're doing. So I know, or pull up your social media page and scroll through that. But okay,
yeah, there are a lot of before and afters there.
Yes, yeah. I saw. How can we contact you one more time?
Yes, so anyone can call me directly at 502-291-7058. You can go to my website, amywagnerdesigns.com, and you can also shop my store, Reflections of You by Amy.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.